Now I'm going to show you a quick fix for an issue that you may come across on our casements. As you close these, you may run into an issue where these pins actually rub up against the vent. This one is fine, there's nothing wrong with this one, but we do run across that issue from time to time where you go to close the vent and it's either hitting the pin, which is preventing it from closing, or it's rubbing up against the pin and you can hear it. But either way, what you want to do is, if you come in closer, there's these plastic guides that the multi-point lock actually runs on. As you can see how it slides up and down. These guides are what holds it in place. All you want to do is go ahead and remove these screws. All you gotta do is pry it open and you can slide these off. You can take them right off. Stick that back on there. Just to show you, I already have one out. As you can see, the thickness of this block right here actually is what holds it away from the frame, so it'll push this multi-point latch away from the frame. So you can grind this down so that it actually pulls it closer to the frame, further away from the vent. Like I said, because some of the issue that we have, sometimes it'll hit the edge of the vent. So you want to give it a little bit more clearance there, and you can do that by grinding the bottom of the multi-point guides. And we do that by grinding it down. The way I do it, just grab it with some vice grips. You see I'm already holding it with vice grips. This is the bottom half that actually rests up against the frame, and that's the side you want to grind down. I have my grinder here prepared, ready to go. As you can see, it's probably about 1/8 of an inch thick right now. And all you do is just keep grinding it down. I'm really into the process of grinding it down. I want you to bring it in. As you can see this. See how that's paper thin compared to the way it originally was? See how thick that is? So you can actually go and grind down almost a whole 1/8. And once you do that, when you put this up against the frame here, it'll actually pull the multi-point bar further away from the vent. And like I said, it'll give you more clearance. Some of you might be thinking, why don't we just cut it off and put it on that way? I don't recommend doing that. We have done that in the past. What ends up happening is that the multi-point lock bar will find a way out of it, and it'll come out of the guide, and then you have worse problems than it hitting the vent. So I do recommend just grinding it down. As you can see, that's almost paper thin right there, but it's still intact. It's still there. There's still something there for the bar to glide in back and forth. And like I said, it'll give you a lot more clearance away from the vent. So that's one way to address that issue. And putting it back on, just go ahead and pry it open. Pry it open, stick it on there, find the little notches where it lines up. Now to fix the top. But just line up the holes back with the guides and screw it back on. Once you get your guides lining up back with the original holes, just go ahead and screw it back on. Now don't over tighten them, because if you do over tighten it, it'll affect the operation of the latch. It'll be too stiff. You don't want it too stiff. You want it as loose as possible without it rattling in there. Just snug them up. And that's it. So you put those back in there, make sure it's still operational. And I guarantee you it'll pull it away from the vent, so you'll be able to operate your vent properly.